Today, we're going to talk about something that might be a little bit of a third rail for some of you guys or a hot button for some folks. Donald Trump and his big, beautiful bill that just passed. Here's the thing. This video is not an endorsement of Trump, and it is not a negative thing about Trump. I don't care how you feel about Trump. So reserve the comments in the comment bar. I get it. It doesn't matter. Here's why. The bill is law, right? So now let's talk about how the big, beautiful bill that Donald Trump just passed is going to affect real estate investors. You guys ready? Let's hop in. If you're a real estate investor or thinking about becoming one, this is your moment because there's a lot of things in that bill that directly affects real estate investors. And I want to go through and unpack those things for you so that you can build your business around the things that are in the bill that's law now and can benefit from those. So you can build your wealth and build your business. The new legislation is not just political theater, it has real wealth building impact. We're talking about the return of 100% depreciation, capital gains, all those things are all in this bill. And let me explain to you how they can create massive tax savings and massive wealth building tools for you and yourself, your investors in this business. In this video, I'll break it all down, what's in the bill, what it means for you, and how to start leveraging those things right now. Hey guys, real quick, before I break this bill down, I want to mention something that we at DeRosa have for you guys. This is a free course on how to quit your 9-to-5 job and invest in real estate full time. So if you have a 9-to-5 job, that's okay. I got your back. You can quit your 9-to-5 job through this course that we're going to offer you guys for free and invest in real estate full time so you can enjoy the benefits of the things that are in this bill. Typically, these things in the bill are typically designed for entrepreneurs, full-time real estate professionals, or those that on their tax return designate themselves as a real estate professional, them or their spouse. So a lot of these things that we're going to talk about today are income tax benefits, which primarily benefit entrepreneurs and real estate professionals. That is a term you should use with your CPA to see if you qualify for that. And this course will help you expedite the quitting of your job so you can do it faster and join us full-time real estate investors quicker. Full info on that course is at the end of this video, where you can jump in the description now and grab your free copy. All right, now let's break this bill down. Okay, so the first thing that's in this bill, for those of you guys that paid attention to real estate investing back when Trump was president in 2016, 2020, is a phenomenon called bonus depreciation, aka accelerated depreciation. That was part of the tax code last time, but it was a temporary tax code adjustment and it expired. Biden let it burn out and it didn't continue to the point where it is now. Now it's getting brought back as 100%. Let me explain to you what that means. Originally introduced in 2017, bonus depreciation allowed investors to write off the full cost of qualifying improvements or things that they're writing off in their property. And they could even write things off all in the first year of acquisition. That phased down over the last couple of years, but now it's back at 100%. What this means to you, when you invest in a multifamily syndication fund or go and buy your own rental property, you'll likely receive a K1 because if you're smart, you own that property in an LLC. If you didn't listen to me and other people here on YouTube, you probably own it in your own name. You probably ought to own that in an LLC. And when you own an LLC, you get a K1 for your tax return. If you play your cards, your K1 in real estate should have a reasonable negative number in it. Robert Kiyosaki 101 in all his books talks about how real estate provides a great tax leverage. And the tax leverage it provides is you get to make money while you tell the IRS you lost money. And that's not a lie. You're not cheating. It's a real thing in the tax code that allows you to claim a phenomenon called depreciation. And what that means is when you buy an asset for this much, the IRS allows you to slowly chip away at the price of that asset every year over 27 and a half years minus the land. You get to claim it as a loss in your tax return because the value of your building, according to the IRS, slowly goes down because you got to keep it up. Things like roofs and windows and kitchen sinks and bathrooms and all that stuff deteriorate over time. Bonus depreciation allows you to do this right here. There are things in a property that deteriorate faster than 27 and a half years. Let's say I wish the roof in my rental properties lasted 27 and a half years, and I wish my kitchens that my tenants love to do wear and tear to lasted 27 and a half years. But the reality is a lot of things in your property do not last anywhere near 27 and a half years. So there's certain things that you're allowed to depreciate over 5 or 15 years. Talk to your CPA about the details. But those things depreciate or allowed to depreciate and diminish in value faster. Is you can fast forward all that stuff into the first year. So you can take things like maybe your windows, maybe your kitchens, maybe the bathroom fixtures, maybe your carpet, maybe make the list. Let your little noodle start baking on things that maybe aren't going to last another 27 and a half years. And you can do a device called a cost segregation study. Now, you can either do it yourself, you can do a self-performed cost seg study, or you can hire a firm if you own a larger multifamily to do it for you. And what they do is they fast forward all those things that depreciate faster into the first year. So you can claim those losses all in the first year. Typically, for a DeRosa Group syndication investment, an investor, for example, puts in $100,000 as a passive investor. We will typically deliver them a negative K1 that shows to the IRS legally that they lost 40 grand, 50 grand in the first year of ownership because we depreciated all those things to the front. The hotel deals that DeRosa does actually provides even more of a loss because look at all around a hotel. What lasts 27 and a half years? Pretty much nothing. The bed, the desk, the fixtures in those hotel rooms and the carpet in the hallways and even the front desk that you check in at, all that is going to get changed out probably in about 5 years. So you get to depreciate all those things. You can tell the IRS you lost that money. That loss can be used to wash out other gains that you may have on your tax returns. That negative K1 can be used to wash out gains elsewhere in your portfolio. That's what makes bonus depreciation amazing, and it is back in this bill. So here's what you need to do. You need to scale up your acquisition strategies to buy deals that make sense, that can allow you to take those negative losses because you can sandbag them. They carry forward each year. If you don't use them in a year, they can carry forward, and you can minimize your tax burden over years of time for yourself and for anyone that invests with you. So if you're looking to passively invest, this plays for you. And if you're looking to invest personally as an active operator, what's cool about that is you can use those losses for pretty much anything if you file your taxes as a real estate professional. Once you quit that 9-to-5 job and take that course I mentioned, then you'll get to file taxes as a real estate professional, and the losses you generate in your real estate business don't have to stay compartmentalized and only apply to other gains that you have in your portfolio. They can apply to pretty much anything, okay? Including your spouse's income. So check into that. All right, guys. So bonus depreciation is back. That's what's phenomenal about it. That's why I love it. And that's why it is a phenomenal wealth builder. By the way, let's touch the why. It's there because it encourages investment. And that's what makes the economy grow. Investment into new things and investment into fixtures and roofs and things like that. Because I know that as I invest in a roof on my property, I can write a lot of it off as a investment in my property through bonus depreciation. Okay. So it encourages people to hold property to do things that create jobs, that create economic flow, all the stuff, right? That's why it's there. It's not there just to grease the palms of real estate investors. It does help, but it also encourages us to do more work on our properties. You got it? You're with me. Next thing that's in this bill are capital gains cuts. The bill introduces long-term capital gain rates in multiple brackets, right? So in plain English, what that means is when a deal sells, you realize a profit. It's called a capital gain. Hey, high five. You sold your property, you made money. Congratulations. Now you got to pay the IRS some money on that gain that you made, and it is what it is. But the long-term gains that you make, if you bought Microsoft stock on Tuesday and sold it on Friday, that's a short-term gain. But if you bought Microsoft stock on Tuesday of 2023 and sold it on Tuesday in 2025, that's a long-term gain, and the tax on long-term capital gains has been reduced. Okay. So if you're a limited partner, this is a direct boost to the after-tax return that you make on an investment. So if you invest in a DeRosa project for one of our hotels, one of our multifamily deals, or our DeRosa income fund, then when you take your profit back after a year, your gain will be this, and the tax you pay on it will be a little bit less, right? There's even talk about indexing capital gains to inflation in future sessions. Maybe that happens, not a bad idea, because then the tax amount's not stagnant. It floats up and down what inflation does. Way more complex. And then they need some big brain cells to figure out how to do that and how to implement that. But hey, maybe that's something that's coming down the pipeline, right? The bottom line here is what it encourages people to do is it encourages people to make investments in things that might have capital gain. They don't fear capital gain tax. The next thing is something that's a little complex. I'll break it down for you guys, but this is expanded QBI and pass-through entity benefits, right? Qualified business income deductions. That's what QBI is, and let's break down what it means, okay? If you invest through an LLC or a partnership, as almost all real estate investments are, except for REITs, which are C Corps, let's just leave that over there. But most real estate partnership syndications, or if you're going to do real estate deals yourself, you're likely going to hold that thing into an LLC or some sort of a partnership structure. Most syndications are set up that way. And this bill expands the qualified business income deduction and lowers the effective tax rates on pass-through income. That is a good thing for us as real estate investors, because almost every real estate deal I've ever seen is held in an LLC, and the taxes on pass-through income from that LLC gets reduced. That's good for you and for your investors, because it encourages you to go and start LLCs, take down deals, that kind of thing, by minimizing the tax burden on those things. Bottom lining this, guys, when you own a property or an investment through an LLC, the distributions you receive for your real estate investments will face a lower taxation point without having to sell the asset, just cash flow you get. It actually encourages people to hold assets longer and receive that cash flow, because they're not having to hit those QBIs and things like that for cash flow that comes in. And once they do sell, as I said before, the long-term capital gains rate is reduced as well. All these things encourage investment. You should be running around, if you're an active investor or you want to be one, run around and tell people in your network that, hey, regardless of what you think of Donald Trump, the big beautiful bill encourages more investment in small businesses and real estate and things like what we do, right? Because it reduces the tax burden that anyone has as a passive investor or an active investor in those things. That's why this is good. QBI is one item on it because it reduces the tax that you have to pay through an LLC as it passes through to your personal tax return. And this thing, bottom line, amplifies every dollar that hits your account that goes through a passive investment that's held in an LLC. The last thing is about estate tax reform. And I know that estate tax doesn't have much to do with real estate investing, but let's face it, the reason y'all are involved in real estate investing likely is to build something to hand down to your family, or at least it's part of why you do what we do as real estate investors, right? So the estate tax is there for when, God forbid, 1,000 years from now, when you or pass away, that the estate you hand down to your heirs may be subject to estate tax, depending on the size of it. What's important to note here is this bill raises the exemption on estate tax significantly. That means that the more sizable your portfolio is, you shoot for the moon, build yourself a $10 million real estate portfolio. When you hand that down to your heirs, it's less taxed or not taxed at all, given that depending on the size of the portfolio that you hand down to your estate after you pass, right? And so that means the more of your gains can be passed on tax-free to your heirs. Yet another encouragement to build a real estate portfolio that could be passed down as a legacy to your downline. Let's break this all down, guys. Because these aren't abstract policy changes, these are real material changes to the tax code. These tools help real estate investors right now reduce their taxable income while they're holding their assets. They can grow wealth faster. They can reduce the hit that they have to take when they do sell the real estate investments that they're involved in, right? And that means they can keep more profit at the exit, and they can build true financial freedom. And when they pass that financial freedom that they've created for themselves down to their heirs, it is taxed even less in those moments. And if you want to take your estate and donate it or whatever, the estate tax that's there. Let's say you don't want to hand it down to your kids. You want to teach them, as I'm doing with my kids, the mindset that it takes to build their own portfolio. You don't have to live off my portfolio. What if I want to donate that? The estate tax that's there once I pass, it's less, so I can then do more good with my estate. So those of you guys that are screaming at the YouTube screen right now, being like, hey, what if I don't want to do that? So what? I don't want to hand it on to my kids. Whatever you want to do with your estate, whatever you want to do with the money you're building, there's more power you have once you pass to make more effect in the world, or to give to your kids, or whatever it is y'all want to do with it, that you can do more of it now because the estate tax has been reduced. But you don't have to be an active operator to benefit these. You can be a passive investor in someone else's business in your network. If you're a passive investor in a real estate syndication, you get the same benefits. You receive the depreciation I talked about. You get the pass-through income benefits that I talked about. And you still benefit from a favorable capital gains treatment when the property sells. All those things all apply to passive investors as well. So if you got a day job you love, and you don't want to quit your day job, that's all good. You can do what you love while you build your wealth through real estate, through passive investing. And all of these things I talked about today benefit passive investors too. That's what's great about this also. This bill is not aimed just towards active operators. It's aimed towards everybody that wants to invest in alternatives, okay? If all this is speaking to you and you are enrolled, inspired to go and build a real estate empire because of this thing that, regardless if you agree with the man that created it, this thing is now law. So it is what it is. Why argue? You can either, as they say, teach me the rules and I'll play the game. The rules have now been defined, right? Whether you like them or not, these are the rules now for us as entrepreneurs. So go forth and build a business around playing the game that's been defined with these rules, okay? And if you're making great money, but you feel stuck, unsure how to actually turn it into financial freedom, I've got something that can help you. And it's not about becoming a landlord. You can become a landlord, and we have tools that can help you do that. But what I want to throw out to you guys is about being able to quit your 9-to-5 job. It's not about flipping houses. It's about building passive income that shows up every month that you guys can use to start to supplement your day job income. So if you make this much, make some passive investments that slowly work their way up to the point where you can work you out of the rat race through passive income coming in, mailbox money every day, okay? Which is where our how to quit your 9-to-5 job through passive investing comes into play. This is not a get rich quick manual. Get rich quick is bullshit. This is about get rich in a reasonable time frame with a repeatable script that we will give you. So go ahead and download that How to Quit Your 9-to-5 Job program right now, and that's something that you guys can do. If you want to be an active investor, it's worth watching as well, because it's a conversation you can have with passives that are considering investing with you. So I demand that if you're an active investor, you watch that program as well, because you can teach others around you how to quit their job too and live the life that you're leading as a full-time active investor, and maybe become a passive through you. Link in the description, or you can go to our website, DeRosaGroup.com, and look at it under our tools and grab our How to Quit Your 9-to-5 Job program right there. Real quick, if you guys watched the video to this point, it must mean you like what I have to say. What are you doing? Subscribe to this channel, right? So that you can see all the great things that we come up with on a regular basis, including commentary on new bills that are coming out in the world. All those things are going to be here in your feed from me talking to you on a weekly basis about changes that are happening in the world and how they affect real estate investors. So what are you waiting on? Give me a subscription. I'll see you guys in the next video.